We've had a bit of a storm. Already getting spam on there. All right, well, say Levy. So, just checking in on the new channel. So, one view, one view. I take it that is Ramius. Ramus? I can't tell. I can't. Okay, so let's go back. No, all right. So I'm still trying to figure this one out. Ramius, 55 Ramius. It's still the only subscriber to Opportunity Forge. So far, we've learned a little bit about what does not get us anywhere. In the meantime, I've been feeling like crap. I am tired. I am not feeling the best I could. All right, where's the plug-in? Hook up the camera, because I think tomorrow is the day we do the next. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow should be Friday, right? Yeah. So Friday is the first upload of. So tomorrow is the first upload we should do for an intro to the financial planning weekly episode. So I'm going to do some of that for tomorrow, and then I want to say Sunday. I'm going to see what I can do for a skill learning intro. Oh God, I'm so tired. It's been a rough day. Not feeling the best today. I think I'm having a disagreement with some of my food. Might be having some allergies. We might have some mold in the ceiling. I don't know. We'll find out. We got to do something about this. Like, I'm pretty sure there are leaks in the roof that need to be solved. But past that, not much I can do right now. Still working night shifts for a little while, which are longer shifts at the job. So I barely get home in time to eat something and get prepped to come on here. But I shouldn't have an issue with that on Sunday. Should have Sunday off. Yeah, so there's a part of me debating whether or not the Opportunity Forge videos for learning should start out spectacular, or if I can go with something like rolling a coin across my knuckles. I'm going to be yawning a lot tonight, I guess. It's been rainy and dreary here for feels like a couple days at this point. But yeah, that's it rains. I feel like I'm maybe getting allergies from the rain, which suggests to me that there's probably some mold going on. But we'll figure it out. So I'm trying to figure out I know that one of the skills I want to do this year is fire breathing. That would be a good thing to start off showy with, but I feel like I have to work my way up towards it. That'd be a bit much to just go for right now. But I also feel like the other thing I have to do this time around is do a little outreach on like Facebook groups. So I will post tomorrow's video up for the financial planning or financial stability project. Money and Financial Fridays is what I should call it. Financial Fridays. And from there, I'm hoping to upload the channel trailer, and then we will do this skill learning video by Sunday. Monday would be the first of no, not this Monday, next Monday should be the first of monthly projects. So Monday the 26th. So this Sunday will be the upload of skills and learning, I guess. Serial Skiller. There you go. That's the one I came up with. So we'll do that Sunday. So Friday, Sunday, and I guess maybe on Saturday, or maybe on Monday, I could do the channel trailer. And then I will do some outreach on some Facebook groups for YouTube channels to see if that gets any more traffic. And it's really just testing it out to see if that is something that would change the subscription and spread. Because as it stands right now, we've only got the 2 videos up. And nobody's finding them natively. You found them because you knew to look for them. So that tells me enough already about whether or not the videos are getting out and being found. So you have to do something in order to get them found and noticed, because they're not being found otherwise. So I'm curious to see to what degree something like a connection on Facebook would matter, and to what kind of lasting effect that might have. But I feel like I'm not sure what things to explore after that. I could explore something like a Reddit post to see if that makes any difference there. But there are things I can do, like a social media outreach, try to build a social media platform outside of YouTube for the channel. So something like Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, those kinds of things potentially. Facebook, start a Facebook group or page for the channel itself. There are some things I can try. And that's the other thing. Keywords is something that I need to do. And time to grow is one of those things. Like this really can't be a perfect scientific experiment, because we're going to be dealing with the fact that the time factor is going to be something that we're going to glaze over. Like, I could do something that could potentially work, but it may take weeks to months to work. And if I just move on to the next thing, then we won't know whether or not that first thing worked because we won't give it the time. But at the same time, I feel like just sort of seeing like what things can get an effect in a given period of time would be at least a sense that right now, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks in, 2 weeks, right? We started on the 7th, so a week and a couple days in, nobody's finding just posted to short videos. So I'm trying to remember, shorts have some limitations on them. So a shorts video, I don't know if you can do a lot of tags or keywords. I mean, I can always try and see what happens there. But yeah, those are like the thumbnails, channel art, channel trailer, keywords, and similar things like that are all things that will potentially improve the success rate of the channel. But I think overall, those things will help. Like the keywords will probably help people find it. The channel art and social media stuff, those are once you've been found by a few people to help you connect and build a interaction, which helps the algorithm see that people are interested in the video, which can help it grow. But the big factors are going to be the ones that help you get found. So keywords is one of them that will theoretically help with getting found. Also, connecting with some people in communities and sharing my channel with people is probably going to help with some of that being found. Because if I believe part of what the algorithm looks at is if you are interested in certain types of channels and you view a video, it will be more likely to be recommended to people who like the same types of videos you like. Now, that's just like who view the same videos that you view. Now, that doesn't include concepts like the like button on a channel and whether or not that makes a difference. And I think we're going to wait on that one. I will do a video probably towards the end of the month or the start of next month where I hopefully can get at least a few other views from other people and use that opportunity to say, like, hit the like button and we'll see how much that affects the viewership of this video going forward. And I will report back on it in a week or something like that. That just to get a real sense of like, that's what we're going to do that time, is play with the likes to dislike ratios. And we could do something along the lines of comments and how that might affect things. So I'm curious to see how some of that stuff affects everything. Because I would imagine, from what I've heard about the algorithm, yes, the keywords and comments and things like that can help show the system that the audience is engaged with that type of content, and that automatically makes it more likely to get recommended. Those kinds of things we can look to exploring further. but I kind of want to get a feel for them one at a time, see what makes real differences. And I mean, I don't want to do it in such a way that, like, I only upload a video where I do one thing and then we wait 3 months to find out whether or not that had any results before we do anything else. I feel like that's a sort of a failure. It's too wishy-washy, and so we're never going to really get clean, like, scientific study results from this kind of thing. But we should get a sense as we go that certain things return results reasonably quickly. So in a short period of time, we've already kind of nailed down the fact that just doing short videos isn't the solution by itself. Now, doing short videos and doing outreach on social media communities, will that make a difference? I'd like to see that. I can then switch to doing longer format videos, because I do think there are certain aspects of the short form videos, which is a new feature, and it's one of those reasons why I was exploring it, was because new features oftentimes get a unbalanced ability to affect viewership. So in trying to get people to use new features, they make them advantageous for the channel's growth so that more people will latch onto them and use them more. And shorts is one of those that you can do that you have access from the beginning. Like, you can do community polls as you get to a certain level of YouTube viewers or subscribers. They'll let you generate a poll, and those polls are heavily weighted towards generating more interaction with your channel. But you can't do that until you have a certain size of audience. I think it's like over 1,000 or over 10,000 subscribers. So you don't have the ability to do that in the same way. But shorts is something you have access to from the beginning, and it is a newer feature that supposedly is weighted to be encouraging people to use it. I feel like going forward, I will potentially stop doing shorts exclusively. And I will probably do a little bit more of this, like, analysis of the ideas going forward in a longer form video. Those have access to a few other things that short form videos don't have. And so I'm curious to see switching from shorts to longer form, but probably not 10 minutes. I would imagine I could do under 4 minutes long, have them be short still videos, or still short videos, but not shorts. And see what that makes a change, see if that makes any change as things go forward. And then I could potentially do a couple of long form videos where they're more than 10 minutes, because that's another category of video content online. Like, longer form videos are more advantageous to some people who upload videos, because being longer, it gets eyeballs to stay on YouTube longer, and you can put more ads in, like mid-roll ads. But by the same token, if your content is longer but it's not interesting enough to keep the audience for the whole view length, then it can actually hurt your channel growth. So I'm very curious about what some of that data looks like. And then there's also the aspect of you can put chapters in your video and see if you do a video that's long enough covering multiple things without chapters, and then you do another one with chapters, see if that affects your total viewer length. So if I were to do a video where I talk about all the categories of content we're doing on Opportunity Forge, all four, the monthly challenge, the skill acquisition, financial, YouTube growth from nothing, those four types of content, and I were giving updates on what we've seen or done so far. If audiences are interested in only one of those topics, you'll see that one will be skipped to more often if the option for that skip is made as a chapter. But if we don't do that, if we don't make a skip to the section you're interested in marker, will you get more retention over that time, or will people just drop out before they even get to the part because they don't want to sit and wait to hear about it? You know, those are some of the things I kind of want to learn and see, like, what does the data say? And the data will probably be reflective of the audience that I generate for this channel, if I manage to generate any audience, and not be indicative of what would happen for everybody's channel if they did the same things. But like I said, I'm still curious to find out what the effects and aspects of some of those are. And I expect to see little to no growth in the channel, even with some of the interventions that I put in, like reaching into Reddit or Facebook groups to let people know the channel's there and where to find it. And even with a few longer form discussion, like project videos that I'm working on, probably when I get to the monthly challenge videos, I'm debating as we go towards that whether or not I feel like the coming month's challenge could be introduced in a minute or less. But the whole topic of monthly challenges, I feel like, would benefit from a longer form video. And that would be one that wouldn't show up on Short Shelf, but would show up on other forms of video upload. And I wonder if any of those get any more traction than the Short Shelf videos. Because I do think the other thing that's happened recently is I heard somewhere that, you know, I heard about Short Shelves and was curious about using it, but I do think somebody mentioned, because I've seen some people out there talking about how it's supposed to be the new thing to do to get noticed on YouTube. And I think it was because somebody uploaded a video stating that it was an underused and so easier to be found in section. And I wonder if whoever put that video out made a gold rush. And so now it's no longer an easy way to get found because the market in that area has been flooded. So there may be a bubble. And I feel like as more people find it's not as an effective method for getting noticed, that may dry up a little bit. and give us a little more chance of that being a viable mechanism of getting noticed. I don't know. And it's one of those things, again, it's not going to be a scientific study because these things change in the midst of us doing these things. So what's working right now or what's not working right now may actually work. It's just it can't work right now because so many other people are trying it that it's almost like being spammed. So I'm curious. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to do the project, to explore the possibility of what indicators are a good way for that first being noticed aspect. The idea that, I know from experience on my other two channels that I don't think I got my first subscriber on either of them for months. I feel like it took months to get the first subscriber, and it grew at a snail's pace. I think I did almost a year's worth of content on both channels before I got to a point where, and it's interesting because YouTube used to have a feature where they had YouTube forums and YouTube creator forums. And I went on and joined some of those groups right before I was on those forums and talking with other people about some of the things I was working on. Right before they made the cutoff, you have to have 1,000 subscribers to be able to use the forums. And then I think it was a year or two after that they just got rid of the forums altogether. And so it was like they put those cutoffs, and those cutoffs cripple small channels' ability to grow. It moved it from anybody could start a channel and do the networking with other creators and other small channels to help each other grow, to you have to start off with something attention grabbing, something viral, to get noticed by enough people to get access to the things that can help you grow your channel. Because if you start out and nobody views your channel, nothing you do is going to get that channel further along until you can gain access by getting further along. And it's sort of like it makes a huge speed bump at the beginning of starting a channel. And that speed bump is crippling for a channel, for somebody who's looking to try to see what they can do, to think that they have to, like any business. The way I was taught when I was going through school is, if you start a business, expect for the first 3 to 5 years to not make a profit. So many businesses fail within the first 3 years, predominantly because they put a lot of effort into trying to grow and expand their business, and they can't last long enough for that effort to pay off. They can't hold it together. They can't go into debt for 3 to 5 years with the hope that at the end of that tunnel, they will have a year where they break even or do better than break even. And so a lot of businesses fail within the first 3 to 5 years. With something like YouTube, where it doesn't necessarily follow the same patterns of a business model, in which many business models will have a large expenditure they have to put down to get going. Like YouTube, there's no cost for me to make videos other than my internet connection and the electricity. So there's no real cost here. Like, I was gifted by a fan, a camera, and a microphone. I could just as easily do the videos without them. They probably wouldn't be quite as good. So I appreciate those additions. But even with those kinds of things, that's not an exorbitant outlay of costs to get to a point where you can start producing videos. And you can get to this point where a couple of pieces of green poster board from the dollar store can be a green screen behind you. And you can start recording using OBS free software. And you can start editing with HitFilm Express free software. And from that point on, or Windows Movie Maker for that matter, you can do, or I think DaVinci is another one. I never really succeeded at getting DaVinci to work for me. But any which way you look at it, the costs to getting started are almost non-existent. And that was sort of the experiment of looking at the cost to getting started with my cell phone only. And my cell phone is a track phone. It's a pay-as-you-go track phone. So I think I paid a total of $60 for the phone, and I already had a plan with them. It was an upgrade to my old phone. So $60 phone, and I think probably every 3 months I put a little bit of money into it to keep it going. So probably $20 on top of that. So $80 total. I have a cell phone that I can take video on and upload it to the internet. And that's all you need to really start a channel. And once you have that capability, go anywhere where there's Wi-Fi and use that to upload your cell phone videos to your channel. And you've got a YouTube channel. And you can do hundreds of videos for years on end at no cost to you. So there's some potential there, but there's that little like factor of like, so anybody can do it, which means so many people are trying to do it that it's easy to be lost in that noise. And I think that's sort of what I'm trying to explore is what do you got to do to not get lost? What is it we need to do to help a channel grow from the ground up, starting from zero? And that was the experiment. And, you know, half of that is learning from failure and, you know, in that sense, wanting to fail as much as you want to succeed in certain aspects. So I want to know if something's not going to work. I want to know it. And I want to see that doesn't work. Finding out that the shorts don't get automatic views, it's kind of expected. It's an overhyped thing right now. Uh-oh. We have some rain coming here. We've got a little bit of storm going, and my image on my screen is freezing up a little bit. There we go. It's seizing a little bit. So we might be losing signal soon. We'll find out, I guess. So that's one of those things that I'm trying to explore, and I'm not exactly sure, and I'm gonna have to upload a video tomorrow about the financial stuff. I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna start that all off, because there are not a lot of options on my front end of that. And I was like, we're gonna say we're starting from zero. I have zero currently invested, and here is what I make per month. I might take a look at a quick look at my taxes as I'm preparing them. I'm hoping I wasn't misinformed, but taxes, I do believe, had a delay that you can put on them till next month. So like a 1 month delay. You've got an extra month to work on your taxes. I might take the opportunity to look at my tax documents and establish that as zero. You know, when we say going 0 to 60 weeks of financial planning and learning and investing and strategies. Like when we say 0 to 60 weeks, I'm literally talking starting from zero. Like, what is it I earn per month from jobs? And what is my annual income, essentially? And what does that look like? What opportunities does that make available? And what limitations does some of that? Because I am on disability. I have some disability. And that to be on that system puts limits on what I'm able to do. So within those limits, what does it look like to start planning for a better future? And what chance is there to move past those limits at a certain point? So I'm going to do it tomorrow, but I've got to figure out in the meantime, between now and sometime tomorrow afternoon, before I head into my shift, how to frame it. Because it's just going to be an intro to the project. It's not going to be doing any steps right away. And then the serial skilling, I might just do the coin rolling for a starter. Because at this point, like, there's no indication that I'm getting an audience quickly enough to matter. I mean, it would be a shame to do a big project when nobody's watching. It's not like they can't go back and watch older videos, but I feel like getting a feel for how I want to format it, getting a feel for if I want to still do it in the shorts style, or if I want to do longer form, and then just sort of getting a feel for a practice run of something simple first, I think is probably the better way to go. And we're almost at 40 minutes. I think I'm going to call it here. Any ideas what you want to talk about next time? I've been coming up with some writing projects, despite the fact that that's not what we're working on this month. We're supposed to be working on a comedy routine. And next month will be a photography book. So it's not really in line with the projects that I'm working on, but I've had some brainstorms, I guess we'll call them. Honestly, it's a little bit more of an existential midlife crisis event happening in my life right now, and it's made me very introspective and very philosophical, and that meshes really well with my impulses to create science fiction. So I've been building some outlines for some science fiction stuff, just sort of as I mull over ideas in my own head over the course of a day or so. Well, the last week and a half to 2 weeks has been this sort of stewing in my own thoughts for a bit. It's been a ride. It's actually been taxing. There's definitely been moments where I've felt like I almost want to take I want a couple weeks off from work as a vacation, but there's also a part of me that's like, I could do with a couple weeks of just nothing, like no YouTube videos, no work. But I think this is good for me to come here and blather. So I don't know. I'll see where we go, but I'm probably not going to stop making videos online. But I've had a couple weeks. So we've got a lot going on here. I've had some health problems kick in, which is stressful. I think it's finally caught up to me after this whole year of pandemic. The anxiety and stress about health and well-being, and seeing enough other people, some young, some old, some people close to me, some not as close, getting sick and having problems. Like the boss that I came to work for at one of the jobs that I got right now, I worked with them at another store years ago. And she's currently out with a heart attack. So it's not COVID related, but it's stressful. And at the same time, within the last 6 months, one of my aunts has had a stroke, been partly recovering, and then having some chest pain. They took her into the hospital for an angiogram recently, and it came back that she had one artery that was more than 99% blocked, and another one that was more than 70% blocked, and a third one that's more than 60% blocked. That's a lot of heart blockage. That is super bad. And so there's just sort of stressful things going on, and a lot of dealing with sickness and poor health. And I have chronic ailments that flare periodically, and it can set off anxiety. So it is what it is, I guess. Like, I felt horrible earlier today, and I think it was because my digestive system disagreed with something I ate and was giving me like indigestion pains. But it was also in such a degree that it made me question whether or not something else serious was going on. Who knows? We'll find out, I guess. I mean, I've been to urgent care once, and my general practitioner for a follow-up in the last couple of weeks. And near as we can tell, all signs seem to be doing okay. I mean, that doesn't mean I didn't have a cold or an infection at some point in the last couple of weeks, because I had definite symptoms. But there was a question in my mind earlier today. Is this allergies going on right now? Is it something in my environment? Is it a potential second round of COVID? Because it's been a year, and any antibodies I had is probably pretty thin right now. And I can't get into a scheduled appointment for my shot yet. I think my next opportunity was start of May. So I've got to keep going working as an essential employee, playing that sort of crapshoot as to whether or not my antibodies have gotten too thin to be useful anymore, and risking chronic exposure. You know, I went through it once. I could probably survive it again, but there's always that question in your mind: did it do enough damage the first time around that it makes me more vulnerable now? I don't know. It's anxiety provoking, and I don't care to deal with that right now. I'd rather not, but it is what it is. It definitely has me thinking about the losing of people we've had this year, the risk we have to lose more if we're not careful, and the slight chance that it'll permanently give me more health problems or kill me. As small as those odds are, they still exist. And so it's like, it's been something that's been on the front of my mind. And part of that is because of the sheer stress load of the job going as badly as it's been going for the last several months. The stress load of that makes it easier for anxiety to take root. So I've definitely felt the need for a little time off lately, but I also like coming on here and taking the chance to just think about creative projects and experiments and take a break from the stress and the anxiety. So I'm not sure where we're going, but I plan to be back here on, I guess it's Sunday at this point, right? Today's Thursday, so Sunday is the next video. So I hope to see you then. Hopefully the world doesn't burn down in the meantime. Till Sunday, take care. And good night. Yeah, that didn't help my anxiety at all. Like, I've had it already. Do I need a shot? We should probably get one just to be double sure safe. And then everybody's like, well, the Johnson and Johnson shot was a clot risk, and I'm like, okay. And then somebody posted something earlier today. Turns out all of them have some degree of risk of clot. It's about 1 out of every 4 million people may have a risk of clot for all of them. So, you know, I'm not super good at figuring the odds and weighing the risk factors in my head, but that idea of clot risk makes me anxious. But at the same time, like, I already went through COVID, and there's indications that going through COVID has a higher risk of causing clots than the vaccines. So let's just do that. So I think mine's scheduled for May 6th. So I'm going to just buckle down and do it. If it kills me, it kills me. That'll be that. I'm not going to spend a lot of time freaking out about it. I need to get the shot. It should provide at least some longer term protections. It'll be a little bit of a load off my mind. I do think because I've already had it, if there are any antibodies remaining in my system, the first shot may be the one that I react pretty aggressively and negatively to. Like, a lot of people have said they get their first shot, they do okay. Their second shot, because their body's already started to see that as a threat to attack, their body reacts to the second shot aggressively. Because I may still have some of the antibodies from my first round of COVID, getting the shot, the first shot, may trigger that same response in me. So I may have a bad time from the first one. I don't even know if we do 2 rounds if I've already had it, but theoretically we do both rounds, and so I don't even know if the third round or the second shot, third round of COVID exposure would be just as bad as the second shot for most people, or worse, or better. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that as advice. I'm going with it. So take care and have a good night. I will see you on Sunday.